Hello YouTubers, good morning. This is GQ Auto Diagnostics and Repair with a new video. Working on 2011 F150 pickup truck, 4-wheel drive automatic with a 5.4 liter, and we are doing the rear brakes. Okay, the brake pads are very low, like I believe 2 millimeter limit, so we have to replace them along with the rotors. A couple things. First thing, you can see a little bit of rust. Sometimes this build between the axle and the rotor, so just spray a little bit of WD-40 so that you can start to let it soak, and it will be a lot easier to break it loose. So anyhow, for this I will show you what you guys need. Let me place the camera so we can just get you the information.
Good. What's next? Look the front?
Yeah. Sorry, we're working a couple things at once. So here, spray a little bit. Little goes a long way. So let it.
Are you talking to me?
Nope. I'm making a video. So we're gonna let it soak. The next here on the rear, we're gonna use a 10 millimeter wrench to loosen them up. Okay, there's one. $10mm bolt. Screwdriver. I'm going to push the piston of the caliper back in, so that way we can just make it easy on ourselves. What I'm going to do, I'm going to screw this bolt a little bit back again, so keep the caliper from tilting. And that's a lot easy. Now when you're doing this, you're gonna feel that the caliper piston is gonna go back in nice and smooth. If you feel like it's binding or like it's too hard, you're either doing something wrong or that caliper started to seize. And if that's the case, that is not good, because the caliper is gonna start to bind and don't release, and your brake pads might wear out prematurely. Okay? Now if that's the case, you gotta check. This is the top one. Make sure the sliding guides or the pins, they're nice and smooth. You see this one's a move. If this is okay and your brake pads are wearing uneven from this side to the other side, that will be a sign that your piston, the caliper itself, is doing a problem. If you find this, it's really difficult to move, so this is your problem. All right, just a quick education. Now on this one, on the outer brake pad, this notch, this have to line up with those. Make sure when you install it, those goes in that hole to keep the brake pad nice and flat up against the caliper, the surface of the caliper. Other way, the brake pad is going to be tilted and it's going to wear uneven. Okay. This one you can leave there. Now when you install this, make sure you don't touch the friction material. Okay, that way if you have a little bit dirt or oil or something, the friction material is going to absorb it and it's going to be inside the brake pads and can cause noises or whatever. So take your time, don't do it. Again, make sure when you press that brake pad into the caliper, it is nice and flat up against the piston. Okay, it's no binding or twist. Okay, there you go. So those notches right there on the holes. Now let's see if this comes easy. No, but I use a hammer. When everything fails, get a bigger hammer. Done. So the next part on doing a good brake job here on the axle, the flange, we have a little bit of rust. So we gotta clean the rust because that rust is gonna push the rotor a little bit far away from the flange of the axle, and that's gonna cause a little bit of run out. That run out, what's gonna do, the brake pad, that rotor on the high part is gonna touch the brake pad and it's gonna start to wear prematurely in some areas. So that's gonna create a thickness variation along the rotor, and that's what eventually causes that pulsation when you apply the brake and that vibration. It's more noticeable on the front brakes than on the rear brakes, but it does happen. Okay, so you have a tool, grab sand, and just anyhow, clean it best you can. Aspect. All right, I think that will do it. Now we have the rotor here. They're ready to clean it for me. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Here on the back, you can see the parking brake shoe. replace that. Next, gotta replace the last part here with the cap. Both of those got the same length, so it doesn't matter which one goes on the top or on the bottom. If you have this new ones, okay, a good quality brake pad is gonna come with this, with the hardware. Because sometimes over time, the brake pad, it wears out this part, and it can create a tiny hole. It's gonna start binding there. So if you have it, replace it. Okay, it will save you a lots of troubles down the road. See this one? So. It's there. Now on this, you will notice, I already did the other side, so the brake pad here has a guide right there. It doesn't have it there, it's one single, so that guy goes on the top, so make sure you match the right brake pad on the caliper for the right side. And this, what's going to happen, it's going to go top first, so that way this can lash there, engage, and you just push down. So, but for this application, this has to be insert the bolt. Now you go there. Now you slide the guy pin from the bottom back, snap in place. Okay, this is here. Make sure you thread those bolts by hand, so that way you make sure you notice if you start binding. If you start binding, that means the caliper is not flat up against the axle, and just adjust it so you can just tighten them up. And this is how you replace the rear brake pads on a Ford. Okay, I will post the torque specs for the caliper sliding pins, the bolts on the description below, the torque specs for the wheel. And anyhow, if you get anything out of this video, the only thing I ask is subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, share the video, and that's it. Have a great day. Do your best. Forget the rest. God bless. And I will see you on the next video. Later.